So welcome to another ordinary street on an extraordinary time. Tonight, southern and western Britain is bracing itself for what could be the last blasts of the 2014 storms for now. After yesterday's 100-mile-per-hour winds and lashing rain tested parts of the country's infrastructure literally to breaking points, today has been calmer ahead of what's expected to be another set of storms tomorrow night. But floodwaters remain in many areas, like here in Egham, testing the resilience of the people themselves. Our reporter Porrick O'Brien spent last night with the last few residents who are refusing to leave one flooded street in the town. Here's his report.
This is the big picture, hundreds of communities underwater. But to get the real desolation caused by these floods into focus, you have to go much closer to the ground. You have to pick a street. You have to pick a person. Last night, we tried to get to Elaine Morris on Abridge Avenue. Listen, how are you feeling about it all?
I've gone through sad, angry and scared. I think I'm scared at the minute.
Okay, well listen, we'll be with you. We'll be with you soon. So hang tight, yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. Bye bye. A neighbour at the top of the street gave us a dinghy and a floorboard as an oar. There's a really eerie sense though down the street. All the houses are empty, apart from Elaine's. It's all very dark and very strange. We paddle into the drive of our house. It's higher than the others and the water hasn't come in yet, thankfully. Her children are with her mother. She is on her own. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi.
We did, how are you doing?
We're exhausted. I'm not sleeping because I keep checking the water levels. I would imagine that the people that have had to leave are not sleeping because they're worried what's happening to their houses. When you look at them, you look at their devastation in their faces when they go into their homes and they come out now. The fact that it's never ever going to be the same again, ever.
Is there a way around the back, or?
No, it's all flooded and locked up. So.
Next door, her neighbour, Christine. She's not leaving either.
I was comparing it because I'm old enough to know the war years. I was only like a schoolgirl at the time, but I hasten to add. But I can remember what it was like then, and this has got an awful lot of similarity. I know it sounds ridiculous because it's the uncertainty with the war. You never knew what was going to happen.
Both neighbours' feeling of abandonment compounded by rumours of looters. Police patrolling in the middle of the night wanted to know what we were doing. So we've called on Elaine, and now we're calling on Christine. Right. In the morning, the army moved into Abridge Avenue. At around the same time, David Cameron was chairing the first meeting of a new cabinet committee. It's set up to coordinate long-term plans on flood recovery and resilience. As the army delivered free sandbags here, Christchurch Borough Council in Dorset was getting a slap on the wrist from government for charging people at less risk for the same service. So, as the politicians were banging heads together in Whitehall, we went back to Elaine. Have you any message for the Prime Minister?
Right, could I have someone at the top of my street and protect my lovely neighbours who have had to be evacuated, protect their homes from looters at night? And secondly, immediately, when this flood water goes down, do you think Runnymede Council could come and clear that up? Because we've got sanitary protection floating in our gardens.
As the day wears on, those evacuated come back to assess the damage. And a few doors down in his garage, Ian pushes his floating fridge away and puts his finger on it.
It makes me feel small because of the power in nature. And no matter what we've done to try and defend our home, our castle against this, it was impossible.
As politicians look at big future plans for flooding, as the country assesses the enormous scale of the damage, people on at least one abandoned street are feeling very small indeed.